Hello Year 9, I hope you're all well. All right, welcome to your feedback video for this week. Okay, as you know, as part of your remote learning, I will be providing weekly feedback on the work that you completed in the previous week. And this feedback today focuses on the knowledge that you covered last week, primarily looking at that quiz that you completed on Friday. Okay, so looking at your work from the 26th to the 29th of January. So first things first, a few things to celebrate. 19 out of 26 of you completed the quiz. Well done. Wow, that is a massive jump from last week. So I'm really, really pleased with the number of you that are now finishing these quizzes at on the days that they are set. It would be ideal if all of us could get that quiz done, all right, but on the whole, I'm really, really pleased with how many of us are getting it done. So well done. The class average on the quiz was 62%. Not the best it could be, but still a really, really good effort from you all. So well done, okay? We always like to look for about 80% is where we like to aim for when it comes to quizzes and things, because that shows that you all have a really, really, really good understanding of the content we've been covering. But on the whole, that's a really good score for now, okay? I will note that 3 students got 100%. Well done to those of you. All right, I won't name you, but 3 of you did get that. Well done. And another 4 students got 80%. So those are our top scorers there. And well done to those of you who scored one of those percentages. And the best question all round was which word means to offer a solution or to settle? And the answer was resolution. Okay, so well done on that one. What we're going to do next is have a look through your answers, and then I'm going to zoom in on a few questions in detail and just look at explaining or reteaching them a little bit, just to give you a bit more information on why the answers that are correct. Okay, we're going to look at some of the questions that we didn't do so well on as a class. So moving on to show my homework then, let's have a look at these quizzes. So question number 1 there was which word means an ongoing argument or dispute. Conflict was the correct answer there. 68% of you got that right. Well done. Those of you who didn't, please do make a note of that. The next question, number 2, which word means to offer a solution or to settle? As I said, that's the question we did the best on, so well done. Resolution was the answer. Number 3, which word best completes this sentence? Both poems suggest that work traps people, adding to the something that explains how work is impacting on our life. And the answer there is meta-narrative, okay? Joining in as this part of this narrative that comments on how work is impacting our lives. So if that was one you didn't quite get correct, please do make note of that. Number 4, which word or phrase best proves that work is dull and tedious? This odium pounding tedium, okay? Some of those key words we looked at last week, okay, and what they mean. That's why that is the correct answer to that question, okay? Number 5, which of these is not a problem from the poem? Work leads to greed and selfishness. Well done, those of you who got that one correct, okay? Number 6, which of these is a solution offered in the poem? Being released by being fired. Absolutely, okay. There's that point in the poem where the person is finally freed or they're fired. And it does, you know, it is a source of freedom for them. Number 7, read the following metaphor. Money was a golden idol. Which of the statements describes this metaphor correctly, okay? And the correct answer here is money is the tenor, a golden idol is the vehicle. And we're going to look at this one in more detail as to why that's the correct answer a little bit later on. Number 8, complete the definition of a paradox. A paradox places 2 contrasting ideas next to each other to reveal a hidden or unexpected truth. Okay, if that's one you got incorrect, please do make a note of it, but I will look at it in more detail moving through this feedback video. Number 9, which sentence function would show heightened emotions and or emphatic stress? The correct answer there was exclamatory. Okay, and again, that's another one I'll be focusing on. And then finally, number 10, which of these is not a method used in the poem work? Sleep or a simile is the correct answer. There's no similes are used within the poem. All right, so well done for those of you who did get answers right. And I say do make a note of those you got wrong for those of you who perhaps didn't get some of the answers right. But as I said, I am going to focus on a few of those areas covered in the quiz in a bit more detail as part of this video. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to focus on is this question here. Which sentence function would show heightened emotion and or emphatic stress? And the correct answer there was an exclamatory sentence, okay? And I just thought I'd explain a bit more about what exclamatory sentences are and why they can be used effectively. So an exclamatory sentence is a sentence that expresses great emotions such as excitement, surprise, happiness, and anger, and ends with an exclamation point. Okay, this is why they're able to show heightened emotion here, because they show that you need to put some emotion into it and some emphasis. And some examples of exclamatory sentences are: it is too dangerous to climb that mountain, or I got an A on my book report. Okay, so that, for example, that last one, I got an A on my book report. That's to convey excitement. This person's really excited that that's what they got. Okay. So it's just being aware that by using exclamatory sentences, we are able to help convey emotion, especially heightened emotions. The next one, the definition of a paradox. Okay, this is another one that a lot of people weren't too sure on. So, a paradox places 2 contrasting ideas next to each other to reveal a hidden or unexpected truth. All right, and just as a further definition there, paradox is a sentence in logic that cannot be true but also cannot be false. And many famous problems of this kind exist. And this is where these pictures on the screen come in handy for us. Okay, so again, bear that in mind, that a paradox is a sentence that makes sense, but it cannot be true, but it also cannot be false. And this is where things get interesting. So if you first look at this picture on the right-hand side, it says primitive road, no warning signs. So it says that there are no warning signs. However, this is a sign warning that there are no warning signs. So in essence, the message is almost kind of both true and false. And this is where things get a little bit confusing with paradoxes, okay? Because it's saying there are no warning signs, but this is a warning sign here. Okay, so if it's telling the truth, it also has to be false, for example, okay? So yeah, it is a paradox, all right, with using that term. Moving down to the pictures at the bottom, looking at the green and red buttons. So the red button says the green button is true, but then the green button says the red button is false, okay? And you kind of end up in a circle here because the red one is saying that this one is true, but then this one's also saying it's false, and it is a paradox because there's no sort of truth or falseness in it. All right, and you just kind of keep going round and round. And then the last example I've got down here is our friend Pinocchio from the famous Disney film. All right, and what he's saying here is my nose will grow. If you know the story of Pinocchio, you'll know that his nose grows when he tells a lie. All right, and that's the only time that his nose tends to grow. But here he's saying my nose will grow. But his nose will only grow if he tells a lie. But then if he's saying my nose will grow, then he could also be telling the truth. Because if that statement is true, his nose won't grow. In which case he's also then telling a lie, in which case his nose should grow. And you kind of end up going round and round in circles, okay? But these are just some examples of some paradoxes in practice. And then moving on to the last bit here. So this question here was, read the following metaphor. Money was a golden idol. Which of the statements describes the metaphor correctly? All right, first of all, I just want to make a note to say that a metaphor is when you describe something by saying it is something else, okay? So, for example, when we look at the answers here, this one here, this isn't a proper metaphor as it doesn't use like or as. That's incorrect because you only use the words like or as in a simile, okay? Simile is when you compare something to something else, but a metaphor is when you say something is something else. All right, that's the difference between the two, okay? And as you can see from the options here, it was asking you to break down which part of the metaphor was which, okay? We're looking at terms like tenor, vehicle, noun, adjective. All right, so I'm going to look at this in a little bit more detail. But do bear in mind that definition of what a metaphor is, though. So tenor and vehicle, I'm just going to look at what they mean so as to why this is the correct answer. It says money is the tenor, a golden idol is the vehicle. I will explain why that is. So both a tenor and a vehicle are parts of a metaphor. They're the technical terms for different parts of a metaphor. The tenor in a metaphor is the thing being described, and the vehicle is the thing the tenor is being described to. All right, the thing it's being compared against. So in this example, money was a golden idol. It looks a little bit like this. So money is the tenor because that is the thing that is being described. So money was a golden idol. Right? Money is the subject of our metaphor here. It is the tenor. Whereas the vehicle is the thing the tenor is being described to, and this is the golden idol, okay? So money is being compared to a golden idol, or is being explained as being a golden idol, which means the golden idol is the vehicle here, okay? So tenor, the thing being described in this instance is money, and the vehicle is the thing the tenor is being described to, which is the golden idol in this instance, okay? Those are just some really key terms to be aware of. They will come in use later on, especially when we begin to look more at analytical writing throughout the rest of your schooling. They're really useful terms to be aware of and really useful things to be able to recognise. All right, so do just bear that in mind. That's all for today's feedback session. Please remember to submit all the work completed and complete as much of the English work as you can in the hour you spent on English. All right. And please remember to complete the quiz each week. But on the whole, thank you for all the work you've been sending in and well done for keeping up with the workload. Okay. Again, I know we're in Strange Times. We're on our 5th week of remote learning now. Okay, and we are doing really, really well with it. Okay, I've been really impressed with the work that is coming in. But otherwise, take care, stay safe, and your next feedback video will be up next week. Take care. Bye.